Salute to the hip hop world. To all the true hip hop fans out there. We about to get in it right now. The 1990s hip hop. I call it the wonder years. It was a lot of trials and tribulations throughout them 10 years in the 90s. People say the 90s was the best era of hip hop ever. I totally agree. I was blessed to be born my teenage years and young adult years in the 90s. And I'm going to get into what my favorite year in the 90s was anyway. But I'm starting from the beginning. I'm starting from the 1990, folks. I'm going all the way up to 1999. So I'm doing 10 different videos. I'm talking about every single hip-hop album that came out in them years. First, I want everybody to do, before I even continue, to subscribe to the channel. Please, please, please. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, because I'm going to hit you with some jewels, some rare jewels. I'm not going to get into every single album. I'm not even going to get into albums I have personally. I'm just going to talk about the people I feel personally that put a stamp on hip-hop, that changed hip-hop forever. Certain artists and certain groups that changed hip-hop forever, and also what them groups and what them artists did for that particular year. Before I go any further, I'd like to share everybody my hip-hop shirt that I got, called the New York State of Mind. Got this as a souvenir from after this tour, to see two of my favorite groups, man. Well, two of my favorite individual and group come together. My dude Nas, one of my favorite MCs from the 90s, and then you got Wu-Tang from the 90s. Came together to do this tour, man. Best tour I ever saw. Opening act was De La Soul. Last year. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal.
Yeah. All I need is one mic, one stage, one person front my face on the front. Only if I had one gun, one guard, one crib, one show them how to do things. Pure, like a couple virgin blood, mixed with 151. One sip will probably make me flip. See my name in a hieroglyphs. Mad bodies. That's hood politics, technology. We've been all tricked. Siege watchers, grow up, try to follow us. Police watchers, roll up, try knocking us. Couldn't beat, but time is up. As I got up, the cop shot at me. Bean dropped his Heineken. Bring the chair between the spots. I'm hiding it. Blacking out and done up back. Walk in here. This is my hood, I'm a rap. With a compliment to everybody. Little brothers and pussers. Throw the boss in your room with me. Simple the stars, sun in the mall. And the cycle police, takes a tree sweeping. Copper, single tree with no guys, sleeping biggie. Doctors, but you really think you're ready to fly. This is what the hell is going on. What? Yeah, sing it, y'all. All we needed was one. Powerful MCs. Right. And of course the DJ. And our bands. One. It's spreading voice in the whole world. Hey, yo, we love you. Delaware, Jersey, Philly, New York, Wu-Tang, De La Soul. Tell them, Kweli, this is hip-hop. We love you. Word.
had to get some type of souvenir to get to remember that joint. See two of them, man. It was I'm speechless right now. To see the Nas perform, the way they did it was phenomenal. Nas would step off stage, Wu-Tang would come out, sing a couple of their joints. Nas would come back, and Wu-Tang would go backstage while he sing a couple of joints. Then the joints they had together, they was all on stage singing it together. So I like how RZA did their thing. Everybody had their fly shit on. Nas had his fly shit on. And special effects and everything on stage. It was a real good time in New Jersey, in Boardwalk Hall. That's where it was at. Got the Wu-Tang hat that I made myself. Big thin hats, folks. I can make any type of hat you want. You know what I'm saying? On that real hip-hop shit. 100% pure hip-hop. But let's get into it, man. No messing around. Let's get into the 90s hip-hop. First, we're going to start out with the first album that came out on January the 25th. A group called Low Profile. They had Wearing This Together. They came out, but Lord Finesse, man, came out February the 6th. Lord Finesse and my DJ Mike Smooth came out with the album Funky Technician. And what I personally feel, Lord Finesse, one of my favorite MCs. Definitely, in my opinion, underrated. A lot of people don't even mention him. Only the true hip-hop fans, the true hip-hop junkies that know about that pure hip-hop mention this dude. One of the smoothest voices I've ever heard ever. Before Nas stepped on the scene, and, you know, we had this ball, man. Lord Finesse. That flow, man, that stayed like water, man. That flow like water. I ain't had nobody flow like that since MC Shan, man. Just that steady flow that never really changed. He speeded it up just a little bit on certain joints, but he had that touchless flow, and them lyrics phenomenal. Metaphors phenomenal. You never would hear metaphors like you heard from Lord Finesse. True indeed. Also that year, we had Digital Underground. Digital Underground came out that year as well. With Sex Packets. You know, but before we get into Digital Underground, dude named Bobby, Jimmy, and the Critters. And I'm reading out here in Google. You know, just on Wikipedia. Albums came out in 1990. I can't remember all of them on top of my head, so I'm using this as a reference. A lot of these albums people probably forgot about, or they don't know the orders. But that album came out. Don't know nothing about that album, but it was called Hip Hop Prankster. Then February the 12th, you also had MC Hammer came out with Please Hammer Don't Hurt Me. Wasn't of a MC Hammer fan, so we gonna keep it moving. Then you had Above the Law, Living Like Gangsters. They had their album in February the 22nd. And then also you had Salt and Pepper, Black Magic. And we're going to stop right there because I'm a big Salt and Pepper fan. I'm going to tell you why and everything like that. Black Magic came out. It had a lot of singles off this album, a lot of hits. And we're going to stop right there because I'm a big Salt and Pepper fan. I'm going to tell you why and everything like that. Black Magic came out. It had a lot of singles off this album, a lot of hits. Yeah, Let's Talk About Sex. You had Expressions. And then you had Do You Want Me? Them was the hits that came off of that joint. And they brought sexuality to hip hop that year. They brought the sex appeal like they always been bringing, but I don't know, raunchy, hardcore, pornographic type of like real vulgar and graphic. They was always like they ain't never going to detail what they did. They just was, you know, just bringing the sensuous part to hip hop. What I liked about them since day one. Getting back to Digital Underground, Sex Packets. That album came out in March the 20th. Salt Pepper album came out. Black Magic came out on March 19th. Now, Digital Underground, what they brought to hip hop was the party rap, and he also brought the dancing and a happy-go-lucky vibe that year. You know, Humpty came out with the Humpty Dance, gonna be classic to this day. You know, people who don't know, Shock G, who was part of the group and leader of the group, his persona, alter ego was Humpty. You know, Humpty with the nose, and then he played another version of himself, Shock G, which was, to my opinion, real smooth, clever, and a genius. Real genius thing to do, to play two people with two different personas. Shock G was more laid back, cool guy. Humpty was like an animated character, outrageous, hilarious, sense of humor, and it was like split personality thing going on with that. Also, people who don't know, Tupac started out with Digital Underground as a background dancer. Then he started doing joints with them, you know what I'm saying, all around the world. You know, same song, he did that joint with them, you know, was from on soundtrack. And, you know, just a little jewel for people who might not know that. Also, March 27th, you had Everlast. He came out, you know what I'm saying, with Forever Everlasting. I wasn't ever a fan of Everlast. You know, people liked him, some people didn't like him. I ain't gonna say he was corny or whatever, but I never gravitated towards him and became a fan. So we gonna keep it moving. March 28th, The Dogs came out with the album The Dogs. April 1st, you had Three Times Dope live from Nicholas Land. I recently listened to that album for the first time, like maybe a month ago. Phenomenal album. It was nice. It was a nice album, man. It was underrated in my opinion because it should have got more airplay on the radio because the lyrics were still there. It brought that funness, you know, that fun lyrical side to hip hop once again. That's what it did for that year, in my opinion. Also on April the 1st, you had Tribe Called Quest. They came out with the album People Astemtis Travels and Paths of Rhythm. Phenomenal album. They was the ones that took it to the native tongue level. You know, started right off where Jungle Brothers left off, and not left off, but taking the torch from them. You know, De La Soul, groups like that, X Clan. There was a combination of them groups, but they had their own style. Q-Tip with the beats and with his flow. Phife Dawg, one of the greatest MCs ever, man. Greatest. He said some rhymes that always gonna be stuck to my head forever. But they brought that real rawness and pure, 100% pure hip hop that year. That's what they brought for hip hop that particular year. Then you had, you know, another group. Don't know too much about the album, but I know they was nice. I also on that I would say native tongue vibe too. Booyaka Tribe, New Funky Nation, that came out April 10th. April 10th. Then you have Public Enemy, folks. They came out with Fear of a Black Planet. They continue to bring the rawness of conscious rap to the world. 911's The Joke was on that album. I Can't Do Nothing For You, Man, which was Flavor Flav's first solo joints that he had. Since the days of Cole Lampin from Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, he had a solo joint called Cole Lampin on that album. But on this one, he get like 2 joints on here. Welcome to the Terror Dome, which was my shiznick for sure. That was on there, man. But that brought that real pure black power, black strength. Black is beautiful. Know your history. Know your strength as a black person, and know your culture. And always be proud of who you are. That's what they brought that year to hip hop, as they always continue to do with each album that they make. MC Shan, April 11th, came out with Play It Again. Shan, Playing Against Shan, that came out. Audio 2 came out with they album. I Don't Care, the album, that came out April the 17th. X-Clan came out with To the East Blackwards. They was definitely one of them. X-Clan was one of the supreme conscious groups of our time. They up there with Public Enemy, man. Bringing you the straight, like I said before with PE. Black power, strength, talking about proud of being a black person, a black people, our origins, where we originally come from, how the black man was the original man, the black people are the original people. And they talked about it in their rhymes, and they proved it in their rhymes. And it was all on an Afro-tricity, wearing the colors and the canes with the African symbols, and everything was Afrocentric about them, and that's what they brought, the Afrocentric vibe to hip hop that year. X-Clan. Now we're gonna get into my dude, Ice Cube. May 16th came out with America's Most Wanted, one of the classic hip hop albums of all time. Came out in 1990. He brought the pure rawness of hip hop that was never ever done before. This level, every song was hard. You know what I'm saying? When you see his face, never smiling, strictly business. Let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? Stories, phenomenal, raw, real vivid. Just left NWA. So, he had a lot of fuel from that to work on. And that album brought that rawness. It wasn't just a gangster rap album. People may say, Ice Cube, the gangster rap. That was a true lyrical album. Because Ice Cube just ain't talking about killing people and all that. It was actually a conscious album. Because the people who helped do Public Enemy, the Bomb Squad and all that, did their albums, helped do Ice Cube for his album. So you hear them raw, hardcore beats. You know what I'm saying? Then a lot of the stuff he talked on his album was about how he felt about us being black men in America. And how we was treated and all that, everything like that. Favorite song, 2 songs on the album is Don't Fuck With a Bitch from the Projects and Gangsta Fairy Tales. But Cube brought that realness to hip hop, man, that year. On a strength, you know what I'm saying, that was too powerful for some people. Alright, then you got K Solo, Tell the World My Name. K Solo, man, a lot of people thought him and Redman was brothers because they looked exactly alike. You know what I'm saying? They did have like 2 joints together. I don't know if they had more. They probably had more. But I know they had like 2 joints together. But anyway, he had the joint Spellbound. He brought to hip hop something different that was ever been done. It was done, but not on that level. The whole rhyme, the whole entire rhyme was made with the spelling each letter out. You know what I'm saying? That shit was genius, unique, raw, something that ain't never been done before. So he definitely stood his ground and took his own with that. So he brought the uniqueness to hip hop that year on another level of MCing. And then you had May 29th, you had Poor Righteous Teachers come out with Holy Intellect. They always been one of my favorite groups from Jersey. Was blessed to see him. Dude from Poor Righteous Teacher. Wise Intelligent. They just brought that conscious to hip hop that year. Conscious hip hop with raw lyrics combined together. Straight for your dome, no messing around, no playing. Wise Intellect just bringing you that knowledge. He rhymed fast, so it was hard for you to catch up to what he was saying. You had to go back a lot and listen to it again. but he was a raw dude. Like I said, they brought consciousness and raw MCing all together in one for hip hop that year. Definitely, food for thought was the type of lyrics they gave you. Food for thought, man, for your brain. Um, Antoinette came out with Burning at 20 Below. Never heard that album. So we gonna keep on moving. I mean, I heard of Antoinette, but never heard of that album. Don't know too much about it. Might have been good. I don't know, but I can't talk about something I don't know about. June 12th, MC Trouble, Gotta Get a Grip. That came out. Just got that album recently. I just heard it today. Matter of fact, went to the record store not that long ago. Got the album. Album was good, man. It was an album I slept on personally. Heard one or two songs off the album before she died. Rest in peace to MC Trouble. At a real early age, the age of 20, in her sleep. You know, she ain't give us too many years of hip hop, but she was like Queen Latifah, real verbal, strong with the verbal. She sounds exactly to me almost identical to Queen Latifah. Rhymes was similar. Black Power. Talk about the government. Talk about what was going on in society. What we need to do to get ourselves together as a people. But perfect name as well. MC Trouble, man. A real underrated MC. Female MC that a lot of people don't talk about. With all the true, you know, people, hip hoppers know about her. Songs are dedicated to her. Tribe Called Quest mentioned her. One of the albums. A couple other people also mentioned her too. I think Snoop, excuse me, Snoop had recently gave a tribute, talked about her recently on one of his podcasts or wherever he was screaming on one of his platforms. Just gave her a shout out as an anniversary to this album and her. Compton's Most Wanted also came out on June 12th. It's a Compton thing. Yeah, Arabian Rock Kim. Let the rhythm have them. They continue to bring their smoothness and rawness of MCing. And you know, with their rhymes. It's just, that album was just a straight lyrical album, man. Lyricism was what that brought that year. Kid Sensation, never heard of that. Never heard of that. Rolling with Number One. That album came out. Kid Frost, I do remember Kid Frost. Hispanic Causing Panic. Ain't gonna be no sunshine. Ain't gonna be no sunshine. That's all I remember about Kid Frost was that. I don't know if that joint is on that album, but I remember listening to that joint back in the day with that song. Remember Kid Frost from that hit. And that's the only thing I remember about Kid Frost, to be honest. But Kid Frost continued with, you know, he brought that Hispanic side to the hip hop world on a different level. Tragedy Gaddafi, Intelligent Hoolum, phenomenal album. Another album that brought that consciousness to hip hop, that raw consciousness, and MCing together. And this year, the 90s, man, 1990 was a lot of conscious albums, as you already hear me talk about, that was brought into the hip hop world. And it was a time of awakening. People talking about when 2020 happened, it was, you know, being awake and all that stuff. But 1990, man, there was a lot of people bringing out some real, true knowledge. And that album was definitely worth getting, for sure. Intelligent Hoolum album. Love that album, man. Love it. It's strictly food for thought, strictly pure hip hop, and everything you want in a hip hop album. But on the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding side, That's a must for the seekers of truth. Choice came out with the big payback. That was June 11th. Luke came out on July 13th with the Luke LP. That was a joint that came out. Um, there's an alternate version of Two Lives Crew band from band in the U.S. That's what it says about Luke. You can say Luke always brought that raunchiness, party, that bass sound, Miami bass, which I love personally. Was the bass sound and that DJ, man, DJ Mr. Mix. A lot of people sleep on DJ Mr. Mix, but he was a banging ass DJ. Even to this day, man, the way he cut, the way he be mixing things together, he don't get a props like down in Miami, he probably get props down there. I don't know too much about that area and down that way. So on that side of the planet, he probably got a whole bunch of respect and a whole bunch of props for what he did. So I can't say the hip hop world never embraced him, but the hip hop over there and over here is like night and day, man. They do things totally different from us and things we might not know too much. It's way different over there because the East Side is always getting put on a pedestal in hip hop. That's why you hear so much stuff going on over here and don't know too much of the Miami sound. So you go over there, it's like a whole different world. But Mix the Mix was always a banging DJ, that bass sound. Luke always was that party boy, that the hype guy who took that raunchiness to the next level and just was exposing the lifestyle that was going over there. That's all. Party, sex, drugs. That's what it's all about all day, every day in Miami. You had the jazz. They To Your Soul came out July 16th. Then you have Boogie Down Production, Edutainment album came out. I love that album because the title tells you it all. It just gives you straight lyrics. Then it give you an educated song. You know what I'm saying? About beef. How beef was bad for you. First album to this day I recommend to a lot of people. They'll tell you, man, in this album, because Karis One is a vegetarian. So in this song, he tells you why you shouldn't eat it, what the cow goes through. It's real graphic and real detail about what they do when they kill a cow. And how meat is a drug, especially beef. And if you say you can't live without it for too long, watch how you start craving and wanting it. When you think you can say you could do without it. And that was on that album. And that song always stuck to me to this day. So that gave the hip hop world some knowledge. And it continued to spill it into the 90s, or 1990 that year, on a whole different level that was like in a classroom, learning something when you listen to this album. It's definitely like you're listening to the historian and a philosopher and an MC all at the same time. Also, yeah, Special Ed, Legal album came out that year. June 19th was the second album by Special Ed. It wasn't bad. I think The Mission was on that album. Let me see. Let me see the tracks on this joint. The Mission, that's number 2. Come on, y'all. Let's move it. That was the shit. This album wasn't bad. Ready to Attack was on there. Get Ready to Attack. That was like, this album wasn't bad, man. Also on July 19th, in 1990, we had D Nice. They called me D Nice. Classic hip hop album, man. Crumbs on the Table was the single that came from that joint. And what D Nice brought to hip hop for that year 1990 was pure hip hop. 100% pure hip hop. Pure production, along with some pure MCing at the same time. That's what he brought to hip hop that year. Master Ace, my dude, in July 24th came out with Take a Look Around, another one of his albums. And Master Ace just continued to bring that rawness of 100% hip hop as well. Pure MCing to the core. That's what he brought that year. Then he had CPO. Never heard of the fucking group or the dude, whoever CPO was. Let's look it up. CPO stand for Capital Punishment Organization, was a hip hop group from Compton, California. Okay. But never heard of these dudes. But the name of that album is called To Hell and Back. Well, we're going to keep it moving because in August 7th, Kool G Rap and DJ you can't compare them to anybody, especially Kool G Rap. Kool G Rap is in a category of his own. This album was a little more street than Road to the Riches. Road to the Riches was a straight lyrical slaughter. This album was also lyrical slaughter mixed with that street vibe, and it kept getting more street. Every album kept getting more on that mafia that mafia style that Kool G Rap loves to do. But this album, man, it had Bunny in the Bank, which featured my dude Freddie Fox. It also had Racism with Big Daddy Kane and Biz Markie. The Streets of New York, that was on there, one of the street joints, and it gave you a nice balance of raw MCing with the street vibe, gangster vibe, and that's what it brought to 1990. That mixture. But Kool G in the category of his own because he could do a whole album with just lyrical if he wanted. He get overshadowed from his gangster lyrics, and so you think of Kool G, you just think of just raw, ghetto, grimy, street rhymes. But Kool G is way more than that. People that know Kool G Rap know he much more deeper than his gangster rhyme. That ain't all he spill. He hit that real, straight to the hardcore lyrics for your asshole when he need to. There ain't too many MCs that can do that. That can give you a whole lyrical album if they want it without the gangster, shoot 'em up street style. It's like only two I can think about right now is maybe Ice Cube and I would say Scarface. They also lyrical monsters as well. But let's keep it moving. NWA came out on August 14th with 100 Miles of Running. They continue to bring that street vibe to hip hop that year also. But the appearance of Ice Cube not in the mix, he definitely felt that was the missing ingredient. Album is a classic. It was short, but it wasn't nowhere near like Straight Outta Compton. Ice Cube was the icing on the cake, man. He was the icing on the cake. But Easy had to hold the throne before he passed away. Rest in peace. And Easy continued to bring that smooth vibe, that street feel, and that presence to everything he did. It's just the delivery that they taught him to bring, that Dr. Dre and them worked on and told him to bring out. And like I said, it brought that raw streetness, 100 Miles of Running, which was classic for that year on the street level. And Just Don't Swallow, Just Don't Bite It was another classic on that album. But we ain't gonna get all into that. We just gonna keep it moving. It's the world's biggest. Anyway, Afros came out same month. It was called Kickin' Afrolistics. A group from DMC, from Run DMC, had brought them out. They came out. They just brought funness to hip hop. Just brought the fun aspect of hip hop again for that year. Ghetto Boys came out with the Ghetto Boys. Ghetto Boys continue to bring their street vibe to hip hop as well that year. Poison Clan came out August 20th. Uh, Two Low Life Mothers. Cool C, Life in the Ghetto. He from Philly, you know what I'm saying, represent Philly all the way. Down with the crew, 3 times dope, and that clique. Hillside Hustlers was the name of they little organization back then. Straight from West Philly. He brought the funnest to rap. Also, he brought that glamour life appeal, bigger than life, the big chain on, and you know what I'm saying, the cars and all that. That's what he brought to hip hop. That glamorous feel. And glamorous life was always going to be the shit at every party that you go. And you put that glamorous life on, people gonna go nuts. Especially in Philly, that's like the anthem. One of the Philly anthems that we play. When you're in Philly, you gotta play that throughout your party, for sure. Vanilla Ice came out September the 4th. To the Extreme. Never was a Vanilla Ice fan, so we gonna keep it moving. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Too Short came out with a joint. Short Dogs in the House. LL Cool J, September the 14th, came out with Mama Say Knock You Out. Now let's get into that real briefly. L brought back the I'm Bad L for a couple years back when he was a young boy coming out. Or the I'm Bad album, he brought that rawness to 1990 again. On that type of vibe, like I ain't going nowhere. I'm here to stay. And he came out hard, hit you in the mouth, hit you in the nose, and he had to, because people, you know, was down on him and trying to play him out for doing the too many girly joints, and they were trying to say all his fans were mostly females, and he did all the too many girly songs, and he was going soft. So L had to prove to everybody, look, I'm still here. Mama Say Knock You Out. I'm coming for everybody's throat. So he brought that rawness that year in 1990 with that. And LL Cool J is a camel. He's a camel. He could camouflage with the times. He proved that throughout the years, man. If L wanted to come out right now, he could blend in with these days' time and do something. You know what I'm saying? Get with the producers and do something, you know, for the 2000s and make people still be like, oh yeah, L still got it. You know, he always been a chameleon, in my opinion. One of the rare things that even the old school artists back in the day couldn't do. And that's why I ain't gonna say a lot of them fell off, because you know they a lot of them stuck in a particular time and they couldn't adjust, you know, to the newer times. And you know, a lot of them still doing their thing, doing their tours, and I give them much props for that. But like I said, L was he's in a category of his own, man. He made a blend like I said, like a chameleon, like an octopus. Candyman came out the album in October the 2nd. Ain't No Shame in the Game. King T also came out At Your Own Risk, October the 2nd. October the 5th, X Movement came out with the album X Movement. Paris came out in October the 9th. The Devil Made Me Do It. One hit wonder. He definitely that was a joint though back during that particular time when he came up with that album. He definitely put a stamp in hip hop with that The Devil Made Me Do It joint that he did. Father MC made a little stamp on hip hop for that year in October the 15th. Well, Father's Day was the name of that album. You had Granddaddy IU, Smooth Assassin, came out. Underrated MC, man. A lot of people don't even mention him no more or talk about him, but he definitely was an MC that was underrated, but put his stamp on the lyrical side of things. He brought that raw lyrical side to hip hop for that year, that month, and made the hip hop world know who he was. Only the true hip hop fans, hip hop junkies know about that dude right there. Run DMC came with Back from Hell. Still trying to blend in, you know, during that time to let people know they wasn't going nowhere. They had on the Ave, which was a hit off that album. What's it all about? was that hit. And they brought that true fun back to hip hop that year for 1990. One of the veteran legends still letting everybody know they were still around. That's what they were letting everybody know that year. We had Moni Love, came out October the 16th with Back from Hell. I mean, she came out with Down to Earth. You had Big Daddy came out October the 30th with Taste of Chocolate. That's when Big Daddy was on his, like, embracing the ladies man joint, the king throne, lover man type of joint. A lot of people may say that might have been the damage into his downfall, but we gonna keep it moving. Lighter Shade of Brown came out with Brown and Proud. We also have what other albums came out that year? December the 4th, Brand Nubian came out with their classic album One for All. What to Do, Leading the Way, Grand Poobah. And this was Grand Poobah's second group he was with. Like I said, this other group he came out with in 1988. They came out with an album. But he did this second stint with this group and was successful. You heard about them breaking up, and then he got back with them again. But One for All, man, with the song One for All, I hit a beat and swing a note like if my name was David Ruffin. Quista Toast and MCs is like an English muffin. Yo, Grand Poobah was that dude, man. Underrated because he don't get put in there as one of the greatest MCs of all time. But they brought rawness with conscious lyrics, man, that ain't been done in a while since, like, Public Enemy. They brought the 5% knowledge into the swing of things on a heavy level, teaching people, man, about they realness and their blackness, where they came from. Slow Down was a classic joint off that album. It was real radio friendly, but that joint was the shit for that year. So they brought definitely put their stamp heavy on hip hop. People calling them the newest of the native tongue groups. That native tongue, culture, which was like De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest. You can even put the Roots in there, that native tongue, teaching people about their roots. And Brand Nubian, definitely that group that did that for that year. December the 7th, JJ Fad came out with Not Just a Fad. You also had Kid Rock came out with Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast. Yeah, EPMD back in business as usual. This they continue to bring their rawness of MCing. One of the best duos that do it since, I would say, Run DMC during their time. When he said a rhyme, P did a rhyme, Eric was right behind him with it, and the way they bounced off each other was ridiculous, man. Kind of remind me of the way Redman and Method Man bounce off each other. But you had Eric, which was with the witty rhymes, and did the little singing here and there, the little comical stuff. Then you had P with the just straight, no face, no smile, and Rakim style, straightforward, simple. I'm gonna give it to you raw. So EPMD had that for hip hop, that rawness that year. Yeah, Ice Cube came out with Kill at Will, second album. Short joint. Some of Ice Cube work, small joint that he did. I like the album. It was a continuation of America's Most Wanted. He continued to bring that raw street rap. Lakeem Shabazz had The Lost Tribes of Shabazz. That was a nice album. I listened to that one day I was cooking at home. And that album came out in January the 1st. I don't know. I was going by the date. I don't know. It was January. Yeah, it have to be January. Yeah, the 1st. So I don't know why they ain't put it first. They going backwards, but real smooth, lyrical guy with a lot of conscious food for thought. And like I said, that was the year of the awakening, the reawakening for us as a people, because a lot of groups and artists just came out with that knowledge to bring that year So he definitely brought, that to the game. Yeah, DJ Cool came out that year with the music ain't loud enough. Yeah, Chuck Rock, Treat 'Em Right. Chuck Rock brought that realness, the hip hop on a party, lyrical, with Howie T, man, making the production and the beats go blend together so well with Chuck Rock voice and his lyrics. It was definitely the perfect duo combination in the hip hop. Like I said, Chuck Rock with the voice presence, one of the most pronoun voices in hip hop, up there, rememberable. When you heard him, he was a big dude. It was like he was like the James Earl Jones. That's who he remind me of. Chuck Rock is like the James Earl Jones and voice wises of hip hop. But a dude, man, that was that big and that stocky. He wasn't, chubby, fat. He was just big. And big presence. And that's the way he rhymed. But he can dance. Folks, that boy dance, man. Same time while he rhyming, like, and his rhymes was strong, on point. So like I said, he brought that true realness to hip hop. And that year, actually he did some radio joints definitely for you. Treat 'Em Right. Always gonna be a classic joint for the parties, for sure. You had Little Mac, Lyrical Midget, Isis on that spiritual vibe. She came out with Rebel Soul. She brought the consciousness to hip hop on the female vibe of things. You had Professor X, Professor X the Overseer. He did a solo joint. He was Professor X the Overseer from the boy with the earring on his nose. He passed away recently. Rest in peace to that dude. He actually died on March 17, 2006. But he had a solo album. Never heard of it. I would like to listen to it. Matter of fact, I might listen to it today when I'm doing editing this joint right here. But Carson was a founding member of the hip hop group X-Clan and featured nearly all the songs on the albums to the east and backwards. And we talked about that. Exodus. Before the group, he went on a hiatus and released two solo albums. So that's a little background about him. The Afros, I always said that already about the Afros. YZ, man, thinking of a master plan. I'm in control of things and thinking of a master plan. Was the joints by YZ. Sons of the Father. Lyrical dude, lyrical. Full of wisdom and knowledge that he brought to hip hop that year as well. On the conscious side of thing as well. Never one of the conscious MCs that continue to educate the black man and black woman and children about what they need to know. And there you have it, man. The sum of it of 1990, the groups and the artists that came out that put their stamp on hip hop for that particular year. If you have any of the albums that you remember that was your favorites, please put it in the comment. Let's talk about it, folks. Let's talk about who was your favorites during the 1990s. Who was your favorite groups? Let's keep this conversation going to all my real hip hop fans out there that love hip hop as much as I do. Like I said, I can't get into every single album that I enjoyed that year, but I try to talk about the people I first personally feel that made that stamp. And that put a dent in hip hop and made hip hop what it is now. And like I said, if you had your favorite artist or group that you feel, the ones I mentioned that you feel that did the same thing, because it's all about opinions. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I hope everybody enjoyed this 1990s hip hop volume 1. 91 is going to be coming real soon. I'm going to be doing it all the way up to 99, folks. From 90 to 99. So you're going to have a nice amount of videos coming back to back. We're going to be talking about them groups. The 90s. The wonder years of hip-hop. Want everybody enjoy themselves? Leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Because when these joints start coming out, you need to be up on it as soon as the videos pop up in your message or whatever, how it get to you. Click it, watch it. So we could talk, we could rap. Give some people out there some jewels. A lot of stuff people may not know. A lot of albums a lot of people may not know or learn about. I know I did myself. You know, doing this this little adventure in the hip hop. Doing some researching and going back. You know, learning a lot of stuff now. You know, listening to albums I never heard of before. The younger generation, you're going to get some jewels. So just make sure you pay close attention to every word. Research what I'm saying. Look it up. Go on YouTube and listen to these albums. And you gotta do your homework if you're a hip hop. If you're a fan of anything and love, you gotta learn the history of it first to appreciate it more. That's all I'm saying. Peace and one love. Catch you on Volume 2.